Thanks for joining me. This is Danny, and welcome back to Real Tech Season 3, episode number 17, in which we are going to do something that I should have done a long time ago, and that is to automate steel production and to speed it up using immersive engineering and autocrafting with pretty pipes, and also doing a little bit with tiny pipes to help with moving things around and filtering in our very small space in our factory down there. So let's get started. So here we are at episode 17, and I am still making steel in this crude blast furnace. In fact, I'm currently making steel in that crude blast furnace, and I'm still using, well, the coke oven. I mean, because what else am I going to use to make steel? And this is a completely manual process because, as you may know, the crude blast furnace, not only is it slow and crude, but it also does not allow any input and output. You can't hopper into it, you can't pipe in or out of it or anything. So I've got to come in here, I got to grab my coal coke from here after it makes it, and then I got to manually put it in here, and then I got to manually put in my iron, and then wait a long time, and then come here and manually pull it out. That's about to change because we are going to do three things today. First of all, we're going to upgrade the crude blast furnace to reinforced blast furnace, which is a little bit faster. And it also allows input and output. That alone is going to make a huge difference, right? We are also going to hook up these preheaters, which is going to make it faster, but it's also going to require some RF, which, we've got that, so that's all good. And then we are going to use Pretty Pipes crafting module in order to set up Autocrafting, and then we're also going to have to use an extraction module to pull from it. This is similar to a process you might use with any other, with like refined storage or applied energistics or something like that. So similar process. It's basically machine autocrafting. So we're going to need this chest. We're going to need a couple hoppers, some pretty pipes. And we're also going to make a big tank in order to deal with our creosote oil so that I'm not having to manually pull that out. I do currently have a tank here, but it's a small tank and it's full. And you can see I've got a tiny little fluid pipe here that's tapped into our little coke oven and is pulling out the creosote oil and putting in here. But we're going to need a much bigger tank, and we're going to make the big immersive engineering tank with our 34 iron sheet metal and 4 treated wood, and we'll do that like out here somewhere where it can look nice. I don't know where we're going to put it, but somewhere. The final result that we're going for is that we, from our little pretty pipe system at home, at the base, we are going to be able to say, hey, give me some steel, and it's going to grab some coal, throw it in the coke oven. It's going to grab some iron and throw it in the reinforced blast furnace, and then it's going to pull the steel back and put it in our system, and we won't even have to do a thing. I mean, except for, make sure that we have the coal and stuff. Now, one thing that we are going to do is we are going to pre-make coal coke because it's super slow. So we're going to want to make sure that we just always have a stack of coal coke in this coke oven so that when we go to request more steel, it's just going to put more coke or more coal in the oven for the next time. And then it's going to immediately start making steel rather than waiting for the coal coke. I need to break down this blast furnace. So here's the process of making the reinforced blast furnace. So we basically, a long time ago, way back in episode, 2 maybe, we made this crude blast furnace with 27 crude blast bricks. These guys right here, blast bricks. Now we're going to break these down so that we can make these reinforced blast bricks with the blast bricks from that oven and the steel plate. However, if I break it now, we're going to lose all our progress. Okay, let's just take it from here. I'm just going to take all this stuff out of here. And we're going to end up wasting a little bit of coal coke, but whatever. And we're going to break this down and build it anew. And then it was gone. Now, we do have a bit of a space issue here because the reinforced blast furnace does take up quite a bit more space. Oh, this is the tank we're going to make, by the way, very soon. It looks like that. But the reinforced, or the improved blast furnace, looks like this. And when we add the preheaters to the side, actually, if we look at the blocks, stop that now. That's what it's going to look like. It's 3x3 like the other, but then it also has a hopper on the top. And then you have to insert stuff above that. So we're going to have to go down a block in order to be able to get stuff, actually maybe even 2 blocks, in order to get the stuff into the top without interfering with the stuff upstairs, because there's quite a bit of stuff up there. And also we're going to need a 5 wide space in order to fit the preheaters on the side. So we only have a 4 wide space here. We have a chimney here. Now I could break that chimney, but I think what I'm going to do, we do need the chimney because we have pollution, although we're also getting dust, which is weird. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm just gonna move this back and get us a little bit more space back here, and maybe we'll just kind of set it back so that it can go in this direction too. Maybe just go back 2 blocks here, and then we're also going to need some space back here for like transferring stuff, because we need to transfer the coal coke from the coke oven into the blast furnace. And there it is, actually. That's all we really need. We just need to be able to touch any spot of the coke oven. So I'm going to go down a couple blocks here too. So now I'm going to take these 27 blast bricks and I'm going to combine them with 27 steel plates, which basically is 27 steel ingots. We put this together just like the other one. It's a 3x3x3 plus the hopper on the top. It ends up looking differently when we're done with it. And then the hopper. And then we take our hammer. It should be in there. And ta-da! Next level blasting. And then we're going to take these preheaters and we're going to put them on the sides, pointing into it. Can I rotate that? There we go. There's one. Now I don't think we can walk through here, can we? Oh, we can. Okay. Now I put a little hidden a little hidden door there, a little hidden entrance, which is totally hidden. Whoops, you can't even tell it's there. Just because we're going to have to be able to get access to the pipes and stuff back here, possibly. Possibly not. I mean, once we get this thing set up, we're not going to have to do a whole lot with it. And now those guys actually need power. They don't use a whole lot of power. And if they don't get power, then they just basically don't give us the benefits of speeding up the blast furnace, because it will still run without power, just like the crude blast furnace. It just runs faster if we give the preheaters power. Well, there's the mess so far. There's the blast furnace. It's going to output the steel in the front, and it's going to output the slag in the back. And we're going to have to pull those both back. Otherwise, if either of those back up, is obviously not going to be able to produce anymore. I'm going to throw some coal coke in there and 1 piece of iron. And let's just see how it goes. So I guess we'll see what happens. If we end up with pollution in here, it's going to break those wires. No, it's definitely faster, although I feel like it should be even faster still. So now on to automation. So this chest is going to be our drop-off chest. It's going to basically be our autocrafting chest. That is where our Pretty Pipes autocrafting system is going to drop stuff into. So let's say we want 2 steel. We're going to tell Pretty Pipes, hey, I want 2 steel, and it's going to throw in 2 iron in here and 2 coal. The coal is going to end up in the coke oven. So actually what we can do fairly easily, because the only thing that the coke oven is going to be able to accept is coal. So I'm just going to put a tiny pipe here. This is tiny pipes from the Tiny Pipes mod. Actually, let me just delete that chest for now, or remove that chest for now. So we're going to set that to input on this side. The big one is input, and then we're just going to output into there. So like if we put a chest here, and we put iron in there, nothing's going to happen, right? But if we put a piece of coal in here, it should get pulled and then put into the blast furnace. Or, I mean, rather the coke oven. So, hooray. Although right now we're full of creosote oil. We're going to fix that in a minute. But that's all we need to do there. And then we also want to be inputting into the improved blast furnace from both the coke oven and this chest. Now, the improved blast furnace on the top, we're also not going to have to filter here either, because this is only going to accept Okay, actually, if we right-click that with an empty hand, then I can say enable down. What direction is that? That is south. And enable south. We can disable north. Yeah, okay. So then I can run these pipes. No. There we go. Oh, why is it... Wait, is this working? It's working. Okay. What? Come on. Okay, so now this guy we can output, or I mean pull from the chest. And oh, we already are making steel. Okay, actually I want to take one of those out just because I want to do some more testing with that other piece of steel. We can disconnect that, we can remove that, and we can remove that. Boy, there is an awful lot of smoke in here, so I'm worried that we're going to end up with pollution. So that's actually all that we need to do there, but then we're also going to want to... Actually, you know what I can do? Ooh, you know what I can do to make this a little easier? I can just put another pipe here. Oops. And have this one pull from the coke oven and then just drop into this spruce chest, and then this pipe will pull it and put it in the improved blast furnace. That'll save us a few pipes. Not that these pipes are all that expensive, but, you know. So that is north. Right-click with an empty hand, and we can say enable north. So now this should just pull that from here and put it in that chest when we get it. So that's this part. So once this chest has what it needs, then this process is just going to happen. But now we've got to get this chest, well, what it needs. So we need to tap into our pretty pipe system. This is going from our ore doubling system back to our base, so we can tap into this and bring it on over. But I'm going to need more pipes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't slept in days, so I'm a little afraid to go outside because of phantoms, but whatever, I can handle them. I don't like sleeping in the summer because the summers are so short here and the winters are so long. It's basically autumn through spring is basically winter here. Or whatever, we'll just run this through here. There. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take that crafting module. I made a medium crafting module. The medium crafting module has 4 input slots. The low one only has 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to say piece of coal and an iron ingot. Now, of course, we could also do 4 charcoal, which might be a better idea because I'm kind of low on coal, but whatever. We'll just do this for now. 1 piece of coal, 1 piece of iron gives us 1 piece of steel, which I have right here. But yes, look at that. Okay. So, boy, have to click this with an empty hand. So a piece of coal, piece of iron results in one piece of steel. So now our pretty pipe system knows how to make steel. But now we have to get those ingredients back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these 2 chests. And I'm going to put them in the output slots. So now that one's going to end up getting slag right away, because when you put it on the back, it gets slag. And when you put it on the front, oh yeah, we got dust down there. I'm going to have to move that filter. Put it in the front. That's where the steel is going to come out. So now we have to get our pretty pipe system to pull from those chests. We're underneath the blast furnace right now. There's the steel chest. Now we could technically just leave the steel in there and the system would have access to it, but I'm just going to pull it back just so that we can manage the inventory a little bit better. And then we're going to come out. I'm going to need more pipes again. There's the other extraction module. Okay. Oh, and we just saw that slag get sent back. Did you see that? So now this chest is empty. And now we can just cover this all up because we should never really need to interact with any of this stuff again. Next thing we need to do is get this creosote oil out of this coke oven and into a tank. So I've decided I'm going to assemble the tank here, up on this hill, even though it's kind of far. We're going to have to run pipes all the way up there, but whatever. That's, I guess, okay. It's going to cost us some iron, which I'm running a little low on at the moment. But I think it's going to look better up here than it will down there. I'm kind of crammed with all the other stuff. Plus, I'm eventually going to be using it for an autocrafting factory where we're going to be autocrafting treated wood. So the Immersive Engineering tank is a multi-block structure that holds quite a bit of fluid. I'm going to put it here. So we've got 4 fences, 4 treated wood fences, and 34 iron sheet metal, which starts there. Let's just break those. And then we basically make a hollow box because, you know, it's going to hold the fluid inside. It's a very similar structure to the silo, if you've ever made that, except that the silo is actually 1 block taller. We do that. And that's it. Isn't it beautiful? And then we just take our engineer's hammer and we right click. Ta-da! And there we have it. A fluid tank. Nice. So I'm behind the coke oven. I am going to be using Immersive Engineering fluid pipes. These are probably the best pipes in this pack for long distance transfer of fluid. Now, the coke oven does not push fluids, and these pipes do not pull fluids, so we do need the fluid pump from Immersive Engineering in order to pull the fluids out of the coke oven and push them into the pipe. So I'm going to set this to input on the other side, and we're going to output on this side. And then we do need to give it a redstone signal. The pump does accept power, but power is not required for this application. The only time that you would ever have to give this pump power is if you... Oh, hello. The only time you would ever have to give this pump power is if you want to pull fluids from the world. So let's say we had an infinite water supply down here and you wanted to pull infinite water from it, then you can use this pump and give it power. Like forge energy power, but we can just give it redstone power in order to pull from a machine or whatever. And then we just connect a pipe up to it, and then I'm going to run the pipe all the way up. The last pipe connection, and it should start filling up right away, actually. And if we hold a bucket in our hand and look at this, we can see that we do indeed have creosote oil filling up in this tank, which holds 100 or 512 buckets. So it now has 12. And you can insert into these tanks at the top, at the very, very tippy top in the center there, or at the bottom. You can pull from these tanks only from the bottom, and you do need to give them a redstone signal in order for them to push. And it is now starting to make coal coke. Nice! And we should see that coal coke end up in here. So right now we've got 26 coal coke in there. Pretty soon we're going to see 27. I'm actually going to just pick up that tank. And you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to set it right by this pump. We'll just set that to input on this side as well. And then I'm just going to set this tank here. Okay. I'm going to set this tank here, which will empty it out into the big tank up there, and then we can use that tank for other stuff. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if everything works. So right now I pulled all of this steel out of the system except one, just so that we can test this. So let's say we request 9 steel, right? It's going to give us that one, and then it's going to say that we're awaiting 8 of them. And it should have sent 8 iron along with 8 coal over here. And if we look in both our coke oven and our blast furnace, we should see 8 coal in here. Yes. Hooray. And we should see 8 iron in here. Yes. Hooray. Nice. And we should soon see 8 steel back at our base, along with 8 more slag, which is also going to get sent back to the base just as a byproduct, just so that this system doesn't back up. So actually, let's run back there real quick so that we can see our first piece of steel incoming. Dun, dun, dun. We should see it actually come through that pipe, but it will be so fast we will barely be able to see it. So oh, I just saw something come through. We are now awaiting 7. Awesome. And oh, right, it puts it in here because we requested it, so it's actually going to put it in this slot. So, and then we can just take it and put it back in the system, which is what I'm going to do. But I'll let it finish out, and then we should end up with another 7 steel. So we're going to end up with 34 steel altogether in here. Now, we're running low on coal and iron right now, although fortunately we do have the excavator set up grabbing a bunch of iron. At some point we're going to have the excavator grabbing us some coal too. But that is a complete build. There is our 34 steel. Hooray! So in the next episode, we are going to start with Immersive Petroleum, which is an add-on to Immersive Engineering that adds oil and oil processing and very, very big, beautiful multi-block structures that allow us to process the oil and pump it out of the ground. So I hope you join me for that. If you do have any questions, comments, ideas, or whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.